are live with Patrick Moher, CEO of Ethical Image. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good to see you again.
I mean, we don't need introductions. We've known each other for quite some time. But
too long.
but for people who are like, who is this guy and why is he on the show? Where have we come from?
Yeah, I guess the elevator spiel. So yeah, we got to know each other investing in the pot stocks from way back. We know each other from college.
It's like 7 years ago now.
Yeah, it's starting to make me feel old at this point.
Slowly and surely.
Yeah, slowly but surely. No, but and then so we got involved, I think, around the same time with the pot stocks, investing, spare change that we found under the couch in some cool companies, and so that brings us to today after the pot stock craziness. You're working on the financial side, and I left my photography job in January to start Ethical Image.
You're doing weddings and all those things. I remember for
I did a lot of corporate work, wedding work, portrait work. Basically, photographing anything with a human in front of my lens is to me, it's the most fun. Yeah.
And cannabis flowers, as
we'll
see soon.
That was the next logical step for sure. A lot more fun.
Yeah, because I remember, back when people were not talking about cannabis stocks. I was in Tweed, I was in Bedrocan from way back when. I remember I made a post on Facebook, and you're like, "Hey, are you investing in weed?"
It's like, "You too?"
You're the one other person. Yeah. And I remember this was before I knew anything about Alan Brockstein and
420 Investor. That's where I got my start, actually.
Before FTMIG was even a thought. I mean, this was years ago, and I remember talking back in 2016. We would talk before, but I remember specifically 2016 we started learning about warrants. And we were trying to get into Supreme Pharmaceuticals. It's like, no, but there's big warrants coming out in December. Let's try to hit them in January when everyone starts doing the profits thing. Yeah. And we were just trying to do it the best job that we could, and we had nowhere to turn.
No, and it was such a learning experience, it almost feels like, what is 3 years now? Like we're almost pot stock OGs in a sense, because you got this new money coming in causing this latest parabolic.
And look what's happening today too, right? It's cannabis mania as well. I mean, we'll be talking about this with Carl later on the show for sure. Yeah. Because everyone's like, oh, are we going to have another run? Absolutely you are. This is the biggest legalization moment since Prohibition was done in, the 30s, wherever that was. Yeah. Forgive my history lessons there.
Well, and leave it to Canopy to be the one to kick it off again with Constellation, right?
Yeah, Those guys a little bit of pullback today, but I think it's just a little bit of profit taking.
Of course.
But to what you're doing. Like you said, we went into having a platform of exposure for ourselves. I love the financial side as well, but you went into specifically the photography and videography, and you were strictly cannabis now. Yeah,
so I mean, really I saw this as an opportunity, one that I probably shouldn't pass up on, so I dove right in. So I started Ethical Image. It's basically a content creation agency for the cannabis industry specifically. So we've branched out into a couple other mediums recently, but our main focus is content creation, so photography, videography, graphic design, web design, copywriting, podcasting, and then more recently a little bit of PR, social media, marketing, stuff like that. But yeah, we've built up a portfolio of a lot of cool content. That
you've been everywhere.
I can't wait to show the
go
world.
to a quarter of the events that you go to, and every single time I go there, there's Pat with, you've got your backpack, all your cameras.
It's like always doing something.
More headshots to do.
But I love it, and I'm driven by the premise behind Ethical Image. Actually, is for it to be a philanthropic agency, as I remember talking about this with you from the ground up. So trees are really important to me, planting a lot of trees, not just cannabis trees, no pun intended. But for every job we do, if it's a lower scale job, we plant 100 trees in sub-Saharan Africa, and if it's a larger scale job, we plant 1,000 trees or more. So I'm proud to say that we've planted like thousands of trees so far as Ethical Image. I don't have the tree counter on the website yet, but it's coming, and it feels good to be able to give back and contribute to change in this nascent sector that's about to explode and become this biggest disruptor. I see this as great opportunity to do some good for the world.
No, absolutely. And you're saying about to explode, and people in their minds they might think like, well, not just that, but they might think of stocks. And yes, the stocks are exploding, but the actual industry is still very much in its infant stage. The stocks aren't. People have been making their money along the way, whatever it be. But we haven't even begun to start looking into all the different derivative products. We haven't even begun to start looking into what the hemp industry is going to turn our North American economy upside down. So you are right, about to explode in that sense. But if anyone is going, oh, the stocks are exploding right now.
What's he talking about? Two different things.
Two different things there.
I'm talking about the creative, the storytelling, and I can't wait to tell some really cool company stories. We got some stuff under wraps, so I can't wait to share.
Speaking of all these different companies, I've got a lot of photos here because you're
why
a busy
don't we pull some up?
Fire some of these up and see if I can do this whole thing. Did I time this properly?
Let's see.
It didn't work. That's what you get for trying to do something on the fly.
Well, you know, it happens.
Yeah. Here we go. I'll pretend like I did it that time. So, what are we looking at for all these photos here?
First, we're going to scroll through a couple of headshots. I did these, most of them I did at Lyft 2018 on location for the Canalists. They're building a website, so they wanted headshots for their AMA content. So we got Aaron Sauls, Dan Sutton, Trina Frazier, the Twitter legend.
Yeah, all over it.
Yeah, killing it. So just a lot of like
legalities. That's the one to look to.
Supreme, they're killing it nowadays. Yeah. They're on fire. Yeah, Mr. Fowler's on fire.
He's on.
That Citron short attack was hilarious, and his.
I was gonna say he's on fire, but in a different way. They rebounded though. They rebounded.
Absolutely. He made a great appearance on CNBC.
There was someone on here with James actually. I never caught his name. I caught a little bit of his raw yesterday or the day before, and they were talking about the fact that one of the things is that they had these supply deals with the provinces, and he didn't state the kilograms or didn't state whatever it be. The provinces asked
Ontario mandated that they didn't
do not do that, and then a few did and some didn't. So you know that's a little bit of a shaky leg to have gone.
It was an interesting short attack.
I haven't watched his interview, but apparently he came out, explained all that, and it's up 15% earlier today.
When I met Mike, we toured. You'll see some photos from the Peace Naturals facility a little bit later. What up, Deepak?
Yeah.
And honestly, I was so impressed with his level of knowledge and expertise. It was wild.
Yeah. So I love it.
Yeah, a lot of really cool people. I guess getting cropped off by the screens a little bit. Yeah. But, you know, that's my bad. I'll plan that better next time in my frame. Yeah, Mr. Benjamin Ward.
So I'm going to go these a little bit quick because I think we have quite a few.
Yeah. Scroll through at your leisure.
Names in there. A lot of cool people. That are really. Here's the cannabis.
So here's the cannabis, the real cannabis. Yeah. So this is the Peace Naturals facility. We did a tour. If you go to the Canalist subreddit, you can check out the written version of the tour and some of these photos online. Beautiful, beautiful plants, and they're doing some very cool experimental work there. A
little bit more interesting than a wedding, eh?
A little bit more interesting than a wedding, and it smells better too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, you'll notice.
Venue if the AC breaks down, I can.
You know, yeah, it's well, no, if your AC breaks down, that's pretty bad.
Where's this?
This is the Kronos greenhouse. So they have. As Mike creatively labeled the facilities 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
You know, yeah, I loved it. And so this is actually Muskoka grown. They're a new Cannabis Content Creation client.
Full room.
It's a full room. And what I was most impressed by, actually, we have a little video to show you later from these guys, is this is their second harvest ever.
Really?
Yeah. So I can't wait to see what kind of buds they're cranking out in here.
The exact same shirt.
I had to throw in a shout out.
Exact same shirt. I haven't worn this shirt since that event, but
I love it.
It always works that way.
I love it. I planned that. Yeah. So now we move over into a little bit of event photography, just from all the shows, the expos. Yeah. So we started with Lyft, and then I think we've got O'Cannabis. O'Cannabiz, MJ BizCon, and then the Bazinga Capital Conference, and just a couple show highlights.
It's a cool car, actually.
I love it. The Indiva, the Indiva truck. Yeah, they're a cool team, and you got Louis K there. He always hooks me up with my press passes, so I gotta shout out
the middle cropped off there, but we still know who you are.
Yeah, this screen really likes cropping people's faces off, Mr. $5 billion man. Yeah. So just a lot of fun, happy event images with my friends.
You've got like half the sector in this slide right now.
Yeah, it's funny how these Leaf Forward guys, they're doing some great work. They have the accelerator coming online now for entrepreneurs. So really, just amazing opportunities abound in the cannabis space. And the one thing, actually, you'll see her later in the show, Melissa Rolston, when I was sort of starting to dip my toes into the industry, she just said, go to all these events, go to the Leaf Forward events, go to the cannabis, and make friends like the White Sheep Capital Corp people. And
I was actually at that event, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a good one. They did a great job hosting. Yeah. Hamish is an OG. You got Brendan Kennedy of Tilray there.
It just keeps going on. Freya, you have every single LP locked in this little.
So here actually is Alan, and these are all 420 Investor members.
Really?
Yeah, that I got to finally meet.
Very nice.
I actually got started
a convention of some sort.
MJ BizCon, or sorry,
like an after party.
Bazinga Capital Conference. So you got Tim Seymour from CNBC's Fast Money in there with Alan.
Very interesting.
Paul Rosen.
You've been busy. Over this last few months.
Yeah. It's But it is what it is, right? Everyone in this industry kind of moves at the same pace. It's super accelerated, so you got to be able to move fast and think quickly and react and adapt to keep afloat.
Now, you also, we showed a lot of photography. You're also in videography as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've got 2 videos to show. Why don't we show the first one?
Should we rip right into one of them?
And we could see some of your handiwork at
work. So this first video actually is from James Wagner. Me and Adam, a friend of mine from Respecting the Process in Kitchener, we teamed up and did a photo video tour with them.
Very nice.
Love these guys, love the company, and love that they're from Kitchener, my hometown. So
well, there we go.
I thought we'd just show them off for a second.
Let's put this video on. We'll cut our mics here.
Cool.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Because I remember the very first one, actually, many people don't know, when we went down to Matica, actually.
Oh, yes.
And we were just like, let's film a video there. Why not for our investors?
Yeah.
And we just drove to Quebec.
Yeah, that was fun.
And that was the first time that we filmed their facility fully complete.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you're going right into full-on.
And that was my first facility, so it was cool to see, from 10,000 square feet to seeing hundreds of thousands, just, the difference between each company and what they do. So
it's amazing.
That was just a little, photo video compilation.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot more videos. It's tricky trying to release them, with the NDAs and the privacy and all that. But we got a couple more coming that I'm excited to share. But we do have one more from actually
Muskoka Grown, I believe.
Muskoka Grown, and it's a bit more of a storytelling video only, just to demonstrate different styles and outcomes.
Why don't we go to that right now then?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
My name is Daniel Blue. I'm the master grower here at Muskoka Grown. Today we're going to look at our second crop. It's shishka berry. It is a hybrid indica variety, and we're harvesting it today. So this is shishka berry. It is a cross between an Afghani landrace and blueberry. Has a very strong terpene profile and flavor. We've been growing this crop for 60 days now in flower, and it is ripe. We're taking it down today. You guys need smell-o-vision because it smells like skunky fruit, in my opinion. Very strong odor. Very strong taste, great terpene profile. So here's probably my favorite bud in this room. You can tell it's just an extremely healthy plant, just a great harvest from the size, the crystals on this bud, the color of the leaves. This one just had a little bit more space to express itself. And you can see it used all of that space to fill in and grow as big as it possibly could.
And back again.
What do you think?
Those are really, really healthy looking plants.
Right? For their second harvest. The quality of that progress leap to me was just insane.
Well, no, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Long-time friends, investors, and now business associates as we go across this this sector.
Wait for our first collaboration.
Exploding.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it very much, my man.
Thank you.
You're always welcome. I'm sure we'll have you on again soon.
That would be fun.